very brutal way to lose a baseball game. A couple of things here. Let me start off before we get going and saying that every post game is brought to you by our good friends over at The Athletic Collection, theathleticcollection.com, or their websites everywhere. Go follow them on social media, The Athletic Collection. You get all your stickers, hats, or not hats, stickers, posters, shirts. They have it all. The Athletic Collection. Also, our good friends over at betonline.ag, where the magic happens. Use that promo code BELIEVE50 at checkout. Also, you see this ad right here, melon.com. Had 3 people text me today saying they ordered their melon hats. AYS promo code for 30% off. That's melon.com/AYS. I swear to God, the most comfortable hat in the entire world. It might actually make you feel better if you go over to melon.com/AYS and use that promo code AYS to get that 30% off. Maybe it'll make you feel a little bit better. I know it's making me feel a little bit better here. Let's talk about that 9th inning. A couple of things that happened tonight for LSU. Number one, look, I do think that you got squeezed behind the plate. Bottom line, I do think that you got squeezed. And if you have thoughts, questions, concerns, put them inside the comments right now. Also, if you want your comment read, give us a super chat or a super thanks if you're watching the replay. I thought you got squeezed. And I tweeted this out. I just don't. I come out here all the time and say this. I don't get how Greg Sankey can let this be this bad. That's neither here nor there, though, right? Because I thought the way that it was managed in the 9th was very suspect. I mean, at least now I don't know. I think Jay had an opportunity where they could go see Griffin Herring there, like to give him a breather. I mean, he's walked 2. He then hits a batter, and then you're letting him go. Like, I don't – at least to give him a breather there and calm the momentum down. But I think the big thing here, and this is not a shot at Alex Milazzo. I'm not taking a shot at him. But you got to set your feet and throw the baseball. Like, it's the little things that you take for granted that loses you baseball games. To be honest with you, another thing too, if you're Jared Jones, you got to have the situational awareness to get off the bag and make sure that you make the catch so that that other run doesn't score. And at minimum, at worst, it's a tie baseball game. It's this kind of night that loses you getting to postseason play. Tomorrow, you're fighting for your ever-living life. I mean, because, look, I got to be real with you. Look, Ole Miss is the rest of this series is going to be tough. Ole Miss is going to be tough. Now you got to win the next 2. Guys, like, you have to. For mathematical reasons, you got to win the next 2. And by the way, you've been horrible on Sundays. You use your best 2 arms out of the pen. You need a heroic effort tomorrow. But tonight, man, I mean, look, you had really, really good outings at times at the plate, okay? Tommy White misses, third, and they appeal, and he's out at third, but he comes back. He has a 2-hit performance. Half of your lineup tonight, how about this? Half of your lineup tonight had at least 2 hits at the plate. You can't ask for anything more in a Friday night game, guys. You can't. Jared Jones hitting 2 doubles and a bomb. Milam got in on the action. So did Tommy Tanks. But pitching and defensively, you weren't on tonight. I thought Gage Jump did fine. I thought he got squeezed. But there were times, guys, I got to be honest, I thought Alabama got squeezed. So, I mean, I don't think that's necessarily an excuse. But for that last out, guys, it's the small things that get you beat. The technical things from the guy who's supposed to be an all-world defensive guy behind the plate has got to know to set his feet. Guys, you can't be running with your shoulders open and making that throw. You got to field it. He had plenty of time to set his feet and fire. I mean, that's not the only reason tonight why you lost the game. You know, the inning before, Christian Little gives up a 2-home run bomb on a pitch that's literally on the outside half, but it's right down the middle of the plate. It's right where in his sweet spot, and he takes it oppo taco. We talked about this last night, okay, that the situation at hand, literally the theme of last night's show was this when it came to LSU baseball. Don't play around with Alabama, because the wins that they have this year, a lot of times they'll come up in unforeseen circumstances and start hitting the ball all over the place, and weird shit starts happening. That was the premise of our show last night. Well, I mean, it plays out yet again. It is as simple as setting your feet and firing down. Guys, quite honestly, you don't have a choice. Your season's on the line tomorrow. And there is still a lot of baseball to be played. However, for you to feel comfortable, you got to win the next two. You can get into the tournament, the SEC tournament. You're going to have to win it. You will have to win it. If you get in, you will have to win it to get in. And I don't think that you can go in Hoover and do that. I really don't. Your season could end in Hoover this year. Shit, your season could end at home next weekend. And it's going to be a long time until August. And we don't even plan on, but until football starts getting kicked off again, it's going to be a long fucking summer. You got to set your feet and throw the ball, man. I mean, look, there's other things. You went tit for tat, you know, like Clean. Milam gets a home run in the 8th. Clean gets hit by a pitch, sack bunt, RBI. But then you have a runner on second to get a big-time insurance run. Jones and Pearson can't come through. Then you go to the bottom of the 8th. Snell gets a bloop single into center field that can't be fielded because, I mean, and look, and when you have these defensive guys that are out there and they don't make the play like in the bottom of the 8th, I mean, Larson has no business going that far to try to get a catch. And that wasn't the first time tonight that Kling, for what it's worth, guys, like, do you remember the great play by Braswell? Like running back and having him making the over-the-shoulder grab? I mean, because Kling can't find it. And then tonight, he gets a horrible jump on one, and he can't get there. And I went back and watched it. Everybody's like, oh, you know, that's just a tough spot. The fuck it was. He's got to get there. But then you give up a bloop single, a 2 RBI home run. Then you bring in Herring. Now, he gets a couple Ks. But the problem with that is he comes in, you have a walk, you get the 2 Ks, and he gives up a bloop single RBI, and they're right back in the fucking game. Right back in the fucking game. You lose the inning by what you did the inning before by leaving in Little, okay, and a bad pitch by Herring gives up a bloop. You lose it in so many other ways. You know, I look at the I look at the 5th too, right? You had the ability to add another one. You're unable to do that. You go to Tommy's run that gets taken off of the board. Those are here's the theme of the night. If I had one before I get all of your comments, if you want your comment read again, you got to go get the super thanks or the super chat. The bottom line here for me is very simple. The small things tonight got you beat, in my opinion. Throwing fucking strikes, setting your feet to throw the ball, touching third base. I mean, that guys, they're scrapping for their life just like you are. Like we again talked about last night, this was going to be punch for punch, mano a mano, because they're in the same, not type situation, but they can't lose this series either, man. right? Like they got to get going too. So bottom line is you got to win the next two. And I don't know how much faith I have that you can win these next two. Sorry, I don't. Let's get to a couple of these comments. Gail says, yes, please explain leaving Little in too long. I mean, look, he gets out of it. He gets out of it in the seventh, okay? The bottom of the seventh, he gets a strikeout, a ground out. He gives up a single and a walk, and then gives up a fly out to the warning track in right field. So he's already given you a really solid inning, or a good inning. I shouldn't say solid, but a good inning. He gets out of it, but then he comes out and gives up a bloop single. Now, look, I in baseball, I hate managing managers like Jay, but I do think that potentially he did leave in a little too long, and I for sure think that he should have slowed the pace down when Griffin Herring had the bases loaded. That lost you the game. I can't explain. I can't explain that. Louisa says White's T-ball error cost us a run. Coach leaving Little in too long. One on a veteran player and one on the coaches. I mean, she's not necessarily wrong. CB Allen says Tank's missing third base altogether was chef's kiss. You know, these kinds of things, man, these kinds of things, all right, for me are situations you like. This game, and multiple games have been like this, but this game is like an overall picture of your season. You have really, really good flashes. You're in really good spots to do things, but the small things, those itsy bitsy things that we take advantage of, those small things that when we look at, it doesn't show up in the box score. It doesn't show up when you watch guys in the major leagues, when you go over to Amazon Prime and you put on MLB TV and you're watching any game that you're watching. You know, Paul Skeens will be live tomorrow and getting his first start. And you'll watch that game. And I don't know how many of you, the last time that you've seen a Major League Baseball game, but you know what the greats do, the really good ones do? They execute the small things. And when you cannot execute the small things and those things compile, that happens in every sport. It's not just one. Right? Like I'll give an example. Like in football, when teams are holding on the offensive line, or you get a crucial pass interference, you line up in the wrong gap, or you miss the coverage that had been called. Those in football kill you. In basketball, silly, bad turnovers, trying to make yourself look cute. Don't make yourself look cute. Make the fundamental fucking play. And you know what's going to happen? People are going to hear that and say, oh, Blake, look at Blake's honky ass saying, make the fundamental play. Yes, make the fundamental fucking play. Because in the end of it, that's what wins you games. You can have flair, you can have swag, you can have game. But make the fundamental fucking plays and you'll win. I hate when you lose games based off of fundamental day one errors. That is a pet peeve of mine. Not a pet peeve. It aggravates the fuck out of me. Oh. Aggravates the fuck out of me. Joe says, and scores 2 of the 3 free rides. Right. Well, all 3 of them on base were, technically free. I thought the announcer and those guys, look, man, I thought they did well. I saw people saying they sucked, but I thought they did well, and they weren't wrong. You won the game in the 9th, and the ball didn't leave the infield until Milazzo threw it in the right field. Or you know what I mean. Locke. I'm not doing that. He says championship hangover, maybe. Corey says Jay needs to destroy the portal this offseason. It's interesting. Corey, I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to say this. It's interesting. You say that. You know, this whole week I've been getting demolished on social media for my stance on football. You say that. You say that. Got the guys that went to Texanium, I promise to God on everything, as God is my witness, those guys were making serious money. The guys that you want to get here. So I'm just throwing that out there. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. We'll talk a little football at the end here. Jason Gilliard says, Blake, we're 1-8 in game 3s this season or something like that. Can Paul's Hub, if you're in here, Paul's Hub, is that accurate? Paul's Hub will know. Maybe I think Mizzou was the only game 3 that we won. You might be right on that. Richard says that the small things are fundamentals. 100%. 1,000%, Richard. Like, and by the way, on Facebook, hit the like and share. There's over 1,900 of you in here. Do us a favor, hit the like and share. I hadn't said that. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, wherever, I think on YouTube we have 144 of y'all in here. So a lot of y'all on Twitter, a lot of y'all on Facebook. Hit the like and share. Only 29 likes on YouTube. We can do better than that. Richard, 100%. The fundamentals are going to get you beat. And the great teams, guys, you did really well a lot of times on fundamental things. CB Allen says Tigers lost this game 10 different ways. No doubt. No doubt. Had no business losing this game. Pete says Kling should be benched. He cannot hit, and his defense isn't the best. Well, he's out there for his defense. And the problem with that is, like, you want to be good up the middle defensively, right? Like, you want to be. I think for me, okay, in saying that about benching him, I mean, you gave Brown a shot. I don't know if you don't go back to him, but I don't know what you do there. I know it's easy for us to sit here and say bench a kid, bench him. I'm not. I rarely am that person. It's got to get really bad, and it's bad right now. It's really bad. I don't like some of the things I've seen from him defensively probably the last month. You know, I mean, now he came up with a big hit tonight and got an RBI for you. You know, I mean, that he was clutch there. Now, the reason it is because the third baseman loses his footing, but he makes a good play. The ball still hit really hard. I don't know, man. I really do not know. That's what he's there for, right? Like that is what he's there for. Aaron says he's been bad, bro. Yeah, he's been bad. He's been bad. Spectrum Wellcare says Herring couldn't locate his fastball consistently. I agree with you there, Spectrum. And not only that, though, I do think so. Let me say this. I think that the guy behind the plate tonight was very, very small. Pause. But very small. And he squeezed a lot of things. And that hurts you, man. That really, really hurts you. But I got to say this, though, and maybe it's just the way that I saw it. I'm sure if I went back and watched the game, maybe I'd have a different opinion on this. But in all honesty, I thought it was the same way for you, too. I thought it was consistently inconsistent and consistently horrible. I tell you this every year. I tell you this in every sport. Greg Sankey's the best commissioner in sports. He might be the best commissioner of all time. But the thing that Greg continues to miss on is that the guys that he has that umpire. And look, I had a couple of people about a month ago when we brought this up before saying, Blake, I'm an, 3 guys just randomly reach out like, hey, Blake, I'm an umpire. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy. Okay, but you guys are doing it at the high school level. I'm not expecting you to be perfect. What I am expecting is when those guys make that kind of money, you better be pretty good. I mean, it's not that. I mean, it is difficult, but it's not that difficult like for the SEC to find guys that know what they're doing. What's a strike? What's a ball? Like, I mean, and I know that they're getting graded because they make extra money when they go to the tournament and all that shit. That guy ain't going to the tournament. That guy isn't going to the tournament. He's ass cheeks. I mean, if you want to know how ass that guy was behind the plate tonight, Lizzo. That's how ass. Lizzo. Fucking Adele before she lost the weight. Fucking Big Mama's house. Like, I mean, fat ass. That is my biggest complaint in the SEC. By far and away the biggest complaint. It won't get better. I will say this, and let me say this, and I'm not trying to defend Jay on this, but I do agree with Nick here, who comes into the Twitter sphere. I don't know why it's not showing up. He said, Blake, at some point, it doesn't matter what decision Jay Johnson makes. Every player on this team finds a way to fuck up the crucial moments and not make fundamental plays. That's a really good point, man. That's a really good point from Nick, right? Like, that's a really, really good point. Like, messing up fundamental stuff, I mean, that's execution. And the guys that you have here, right? Like, when's the last time that Alex Milazzo, made that bad of a critical error defensively? But I will say this, 2 runs did come off of him in reference to those 2 at the end of the game. But not only that, he had all 3 of the earlier runs were on bad wild pitches or pass balls. At some point, you got to fucking execute. Like, we can blame Jay a lot, and Jay's gotten a lot of criticism. And I understand the criticism. I'm not blaming anybody for the criticism. But I do think that Nick makes a fantastic point here. Really fantastic point. All right. Let's get to a couple more of your comments. We'll read. Look, I'm just going to open the floor for a lot of you guys. You know what would be funny? You know what would really be funny is if we opened up the call line. Show of people in here tonight. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Should we open up the phone line later? Stephen Perilou says, I truly think the pressure of the potential postseason is getting in their head. Jay said play every game like it's game 7, but that's unlike, maybe he's trying to say AI, to make a mistake like that. Oh, Alex Milazzo thinks what he's trying to say. That's not how we should remember him. He had this be the reason we don't make it this year. No, I'm not saying that. But, Stephen, I'm not saying that. But the problem with that line of thinking is, like the drop throw strike against Florida, that's a crucial, and that's not all on him, and it's not on him. But it could have been anybody. We can talk about Griffin Herring not finding the strike zone. We can talk about Jay in reference to not going out there and slowing things down. It's not all on him, but to some extent, like, guys, I wish I could show this. I mean, like, I'm rewatching it right now because Alabama Baseball just reposted it. All right, it's a swing. It's right in front of the plate. He has more than enough time, guys. Go look at Alabama's baseball Twitter at the end of the show. More than enough time. I'll retweet it. Like, I'll retweet it right now. I just retweeted it. I mean, guys, he has more than enough fucking time to set his feet. That, I mean, if you can't point out the obvious, what do we do the show for? Low. Okay, thank you for changing it. He says, get Brian Kelly to talk to his team about execution. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to try. I'm staying away from Brian Kelly tonight, unless y'all want to talk about him. Richard Manning says we need the imaginary box on the screen like the pros have. This would prove a lot. You know, that would be interesting. They said that they were going to do that, and then they did it for a weekend, and they got abused, and the SEC took it down. Race on YouTube says, I'll call from Grand Isle, and I'm fucking lit. See, yeah, I don't. And the Danny girl said above here somewhere, I can't find it. She said, ask Hold the Mayo, taking calls from angry fans. But that makes for fantastic content. It makes for fantastic content. Stephen Perlu says, I know you're not Blake. I'm talking about the rest of the LSU fan base. I feel you on that. I feel you. Eric Newman says, or he could have stayed at the plate and Griffin could have scooped it up and thrown the final. Okay. So Eric, let me bring that up because I saw a couple of people bring that up. That is a very, very difficult play for a lefty to field it, turn, make the throw. Alex makes the right decision to go and get it. The wrong decision is, I think he rushed it, and here's the truth. I don't think Milazzo realized that he had as much time as he did. He panicked. He picked it up. He threw it, okay, and he made a bad play. And the truth is, I'm looking at this again. I don't think Bear Jones can come off the bag there. It's such a bad throw. But Griff, I'm literally sitting here just watching the Alabama Twitter thing. Like, there's no way Griffin Herring makes this play. None. And if he does, yeah. In reference to him coming home, tag him from coming home, guys, there's no way physically possible that happens. Just go watch it. No, go rewatch the replay. There's no way. The only play is to first base. The only play is to first base. And you wouldn't tag him at home either. All you would have to do is touch the plate because his base is loaded. So you wouldn't have to tag him. Danny says, Blake, question, do you think Milazzo should have left Herring to field that instead of waving him off? No, I don't. Because, again, if you're a lefty, you're running to the left of you, which means you're going to have to field, backstep, turn, throw. Alex made the right decision. The fantastic decision by going up there, calling him off and making it. That's just a bad, it's just horrible execution. But like top of the eighth, man, like the top of the eighth, and Christian Little, fastball up and away, right down the fucking heart of the plate. That's gone. Gage jump in the fourth, giving up a base hit to tie it. Like, that's on him. Yeah. Look, the season's not over, and so that is the unfortunate part of all this is that, and look, man, I will tell you, I have never, since we started AYS in 2017. We've had some aggravating situations of teams, like Maneri's team in 21. Okay, but they were young as fuck. I mean, and here's the truth: Maneri went 13-17 in the league, got in the retirement year, but guys, damn, they were young. K. Doty, Ty Floyd, Dylan Cruz. Dylan Cruz and Ty Floyd were freshmen. I wasn't never really at Cade Beloso. I wasn't ever Gavin Dugas. Wasn't really aggravated with that team because I knew how young they were. Like everybody playing was young. This, I mean, 21 was frustrating, but this is overly frustrating because that team in 21, they were just not ready for it. They weren't ready for it, right? Like they were too young, had too much inexperience, and it was a building year for Paul, okay? But this is more than fucking frustrating. This is aggravating as fuck. Look, I feel like I have to say this all the times too because of the way I say things. It's going to be a long day before I tolerate some Jay Johnson slander. Maybe the only thing I would have said was for him to just come out and settle things down. Aaron Miller says, I hope the boys want to be right back out there right now. I'm sure they do. I'm sure he does. Duck says, in fairness, Milazzo in real time must have felt like he had a lot less time than there actually was. Situational awareness, no, man. Chris Williams says he never set his feet. No, he didn't. But it's situational awareness. You got to know who's there and who's not, right? Like, you got to know. Cole Adams says, well, we know Sundays haven't been kind to LSU. Don't think we get rubber there. Yeah, it hadn't been kind to us at all. It's actually fucking sucked. Look at the man's back. Look at Michael Morris. We hadn't seen Michael Morris in like 45 years. But he does send in a $19.99 super chat. Thank you so much, sir. Good to see you back. Good to see you back, my man. Glad that you're here. We've been missing you. I put a bolo out for you. I almost had the federal marshals to come looking for you. I hadn't seen you in the show in like 45 years. But a man's back. Michael says, do you know how hard it is to overthrow someone like Jared Jones? The only reason Milazzo is at LSU is because of Ben McDonald. I don't know if I can go that far. He says Neil is pretty much a good enough catcher as Milazzo, and he gives you much better offensive most of the time. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, man, it's just such a bad throw, Michael. It's just such a bad throw. Good to see you back in here. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, it's just such a bad way to end it. It's a fucking heartbreaker, man. It's a fucking heartbreaker. And I agree with Steven. And to put these points together, he makes that play 1,000 times to 1. But the problem is that this one time, okay, is when you need it the most. Frustrating. Oh, it's not over. The series isn't over. I just don't know what you do out of the pen. Here's my thing. I will say this. Milazzo has given you some offense, okay? Not a lot, but he's giving you some. Here's what I'll say, though. I mean, it's not over. I just don't know moving into Sunday what you do. I really have no clue. Like, legitimately. You obviously go with Holman. But I would expect Justin Lore maybe. Like Griffin. I mean, Gavin Guidry, Aiden Moffett. I mean, I would expect those guys maybe. To be in that rotation. I just really don't know. I really don't know where you go tomorrow. And I think that's the thing that's worrisome, right? Like what's worrisome, like let me look at tomorrow's pitching lineup. We did this little breakdown. Sam Dutton could come in. Cam Johnson, Javen Coleman. We hadn't seen Javen Coleman in a hot minute. I mean, maybe Jay Newt, maybe. I mean, I'm looking. I mean, those are the guys that you probably have available tomorrow. It does not, I see Anthony says Thatcher Hurd. Shit, Thatcher, I wouldn't run Thatcher Hurd out there until Sunday. You run Thatcher Hurd out there, you in trouble. I mean, the good thing is Thatcher Hurd will be back next year, probably. Man, I just don't know. I just don't know anymore. You know what I mean? I just don't know anymore. I've still been here, Blake, mainly just listening though, not commenting. All right, good to see you back, buddy. Good to have you in here. I really was about to send a search team out for you. Kyle says this team is the least fun team ever. Yeah, I mean, here's the crazy thing. Could they still win the series? Yes, it's just going to be so hard. And that's what she said. So I don't, you needed this win tonight. You needed to take the first two because you've just been so bad on Sundays. You've just been so bad on Sundays. And, look, man, I mean, unfortunately, here's the unfortunate thing. Guys, you lose tomorrow, you can't get to 13 wins. Then if by the grace of God, for whatever reason, you get into the SEC tournament, for whatever reason, like you're going to have to win the whole enchilada. And I don't think you can do it. Because you would have to go, on that Wednesday? Right? Like you'd have to come in on that Wednesday. And I mean, who do you throw? Who do you play? Could you imagine going up against Hagen Smith? I mean, that is the issue. And maybe you could. And maybe those teams at the top are going to be like, hey man, we don't really, we kind of want to save our guys. That might be the thing. Guys might be on pitch counts but you're going to have to go in and win the whole fucking thing. JJ cannot execute. Only players can do that. They just keep beating themselves. Yeah, and that's the truth. That's the truth. Greg says that's what she said. I was watching, man, I saw that. I was watching those clips today. All right, before we get to Alexandra said, love the show. I love you, Blake. Great show. Thank you so much. Man, I can't tell y'all how much I love The Office. I randomly sometimes go to those old episodes and just watch like old clips. Like today, I YouTubed, like Ben got his haircut today because he's graduating next week. And graduating preschool, not high school. If he was that young and that smart, I wouldn't be doing this. Actually, I probably would. I just wouldn't have to worry. He'd be our meal ticket. But he was sitting there getting his haircut, and when we were waiting, I was watching old clips of The Office of That's What She Said. And it just, golly, man. And I was a late Office fan, right? Very late. It wasn't until we had Jonathan Rifkin, who was with us, threw me onto it. He said, just watch it. Just, get through the first season. And I did. And then he kind of put me on, I think it was Big Bang Theory. What was it called? Shelton Cooper. That one was okay. That one was all right. A nerdy version of Friends. It was kind of funny, though. Chase on YouTube says, man, I really hate this team. Love the show, Blake. Haha. Thank you for being here, Chase. I greatly appreciate it. It's tough, man. It's tough. Fred brings up a really good point, and probably something we should point out before we roll up out of here. He says, good news is that Milam is fun to watch. A lot of the freshmen are. And here is the good thing. And I know some of you aren't going to like this. You do have the potential to bring a lot of these guys back. Now, like some of them are sophomore draft eligible, like Bear Jones, Griffin Herring. But there's an ability that they could come back. Now, I think that a guy like Bear Jones is going to make a fuckload of money because major league teams love a dude with power. And so maybe he's not there. However, obviously I think Jay's going into the portal and he's going to probably be relentless there. All I would say is, okay, it's always good when you bring a big lineup back. But if Tommy leaves and Jared Jones leaves, you are missing a lot. Travinsky leaves, Milazzo leaves. You are missing a lot of home runs. So you do bring back Larson, Jake Brown, Milam. I don't know what Ethan Fry is going to do. I thought Ethan Fry would have, pushed through by now. Big body kids got tons of power, just can't find a way to hit it and use it and utilize it. Chris Williams says Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. Yeah. Eric Newman says new season of The Office is coming out this year. Can't wait for it. Are you serious? Pun intended. Are you serious? Who's all going to be in it? Who's all going to be in it? What's the who played Jim? James Kowalski. James Kowalski. I think it's his name. I was a massive fan that he played or was the stretch guy from Fantastic Four. I hope that they continue to do that. I hope they cast him for that role. By the way, Deadpool 3 is going to be fucking insane. I'm ready for that too. I haven't been to the movies, man, since the multiverse came out. I'm not a big movie guy. My wife, man, she hates the movies. Hates them. She hates. Well, let me say this. She loves movies. She loves reading books and then watching the movie. But she hates going to the movie theater. Ben loves it. Ben, they went and watched Kung Fu Panda 4. Okay. And his cousins and him. And dude was like, yeah. Seat leans back, got some peanut M&Ms and some popcorn. By the way, very quick story. I'll get to a couple more of your comments. My man had peanut M&Ms today for a snack. They get something like that on Fridays at the end of the week. And I go to pick him up from daycare. And he tells me, Daddy, peanut M&Ms are elite. I agree with him. I'm a massive. Before I went on carnivore, I love peanut M&Ms. I mean, massive pause, but it is what it is. Milazzo, this is Milazzo's last year, Michael. Wellcare says, how does Bama with a new head coach and a new roster have more success than us this year? You were depleted after a national championship, really? And they had much more time to hit the portal than you did. And they did. So, look, man, I know Jay is, hearts out to him, man. Hearts out to him. It's been fun watching other people with college baseball this year, though. Like Duke was leading Georgia Tech, and they have the kid Burris. That kid is fucking insane. I'd offer him like $300,000. Oh wait, I can't tell you all that because it's a believe it's too much money for a guy that might be a 2-year rental. Brandon Reese says it's going to be interesting offseason. That it is. By the way, newsflash: these kinds of kids make that kind of money, man. You're just going to have to get over your fucking if you don't like it, you're going to have to get over it. Because that's the way the world works these days. Sorry. I mean, I'm just telling you the truth. All right. We'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you soon. Peace.